Phil Anderson, the CEO of Globex Corporation, was no stranger to the relentless pressures of the business world. After years of steering his multinational company to success, the constant grind had left him exhausted and yearning for a break. Seeking solace from his demanding role, Phil decided to take a much-needed vacation. This time, he chose the glittering lights of Las Vegas as his destination, a city known for its vibrant energy and endless entertainment. Arriving in Las Vegas, Phil felt a wave of relief wash over him. The bustling streets, neon signs, and the promise of anonymity in the crowd offered a stark contrast to his structured corporate life. Settling into his luxurious penthouse suite, he gazed out at the sprawling skyline, contemplating the freedom he'd longed for. The first night was a whirlwind of fine dining, live performances, and mingling with strangers, each moment helping him shed the weight of his responsibilities. The next day, craving a different kind of escape, Phil planned a long drive away from the city's bright lights. He wanted to immerse himself in nature, to find peace in the open road and the quietude it promised. With his favorite playlist setting the mood, he embarked on a journey through winding highways and scenic landscapes. The open road was therapeutic, allowing him to disconnect from the corporate world and reconnect with himself. However, as dusk turned to night, the serene drive took an unexpected turn. Navigating a sharp bend, Phil's luxury car collided with another vehicle. The impact was jarring, sending his car spinning out of control before crashing violently against the roadside barrier. The screeching tires, shattering glass, and the sudden halt left Phil disoriented and unconscious, lying helplessly amidst the wreckage. In the aftermath of the accident, Phil's world faded to black. The chaos of the crash scene lingered in his mind as he slipped into darkness, unaware of the pivotal moments that awaited him in the days to come. The accident was a turning point, one that would not only alter his path, but also introduce him to someone who would change his life forever. Phil's consciousness returned slowly, pulling him out of the abyss of unconsciousness. Blinking his eyes open, he found himself in a sterile hospital room, the faint beeping of monitors the only sound breaking the silence. Pain radiated through his body, a constant reminder of the accident. His head throbbed, and his limbs felt heavy, making every movement a struggle. As his vision cleared, Phil noticed a man standing by his bedside. It was John, his trusted assistant, whose presence was a small comfort in the bewildering situation. John's face was etched with concern as he relayed the events leading up to Phil's hospitalization. "You had a severe accident, Phil." "It was a close call," John explained, his voice steady, but filled with worry. Phil tried to piece together the fragmented memories of the crash. He remembered the blinding lights of Las Vegas fading into the darkness of the open road, the sudden impact, and then nothing. Questions swirled in his mind, but exhaustion overcame him, and he drifted back into a haze of half-remembered thoughts. A few days passed in a blur of doctors, nurses, and endless recovery. During this time, Phil couldn't shake off the vague feeling that something significant had happened during his unconscious state. When he finally regained enough strength to sit up, John was there with more news. "There's someone else here," John said softly. "A woman named Aria. She was with you after the accident." Phil's curiosity was piqued. Aria? He didn't remember anyone else being with him. John continued. "She was in bad shape, but she's been recovering alongside you. You should meet her." Intrigued and slightly apprehensive, Phil agreed. The idea of meeting someone who had been there during his darkest moment added a layer of mystery to his already tumultuous situation. Little did he know, this meeting would set the stage for an unexpected journey of love and self-discovery. Once Phil had sufficiently recovered, John facilitated a meeting with Aria. The hospital room was quiet as Aria entered, her presence immediately noticeable. She had an air of strength despite her recent ordeal, her eyes reflecting both vulnerability and resilience. Phil felt an inexplicable connection, as if she were a piece of his own puzzle. "Hello, Phil," Aria greeted softly. offering a warm smile. "I'm glad you're awake and doing better." Phil returned the smile, feeling a strange sense of familiarity. "Thank you for being here, Arya. I don't quite remember much, but I'm grateful you were with me." They sat together, sharing stories of their lives before the accident. Arya spoke of her work at a local store just outside Las Vegas, a place Phil didn't recall visiting. Despite the initial confusion, their conversation flowed effortlessly, revealing shared interests and values that deepened Phil's growing curiosity about her. As days turned into weeks, Phil found himself thinking about Arya more often than he expected. Her presence in the hospital had left an impression, and he couldn't shake the feeling that their meeting was no mere coincidence. John noticed the change in Phil and offered his support, encouraging him to explore this newfound connection. One evening, as Phil stared out at the city lights from his penthouse, he contemplated reaching out to Arya. The idea both excited and scared him. With a deep breath, he decided to act on his instincts. Perhaps there was more to their encounter than he initially realized, and he was determined to uncover it. The next morning, Phil reviewed his hospital admission report, searching for any details that might explain Arya's presence. To his surprise, he found her contact information listed. Taking a moment to gather his courage, he dialed her number, the phone ringing a few times before Arya answered. "Hello, Arya. This is Phil Anderson," he began, his voice steady despite the flutter of nerves. "I wanted to thank you for being there after the accident and to see how you're doing." Arya's voice was warm and genuine. "Hello, Phil. I'm glad you're okay. It was the least I could do." Their conversation was brief but meaningful, leaving Phil with a sense of anticipation. As he hung up the phone, he couldn't help but feel that his life was about to change in ways he never imagined. Phil couldn't get Arya out of his mind. Her kindness and strength during his recovery left a lasting impression, and he found himself longing to know more about her. Determined to bridge the gap between them, he decided to visit her at her store in Las Vegas. The following weekend, Phil made the trip to California, where Arya had mentioned she was currently based. The drive was smooth, and the city's skyline welcomed him as he approached her workplace. The store was a quaint establishment, known for its unique merchandise and friendly atmosphere. As Phil stepped inside, he spotted Arya arranging products on the shelves. "Phil, it's great to see you again." Arya greeted him with a genuine smile, her eyes lighting up with recognition. "Arya, it's wonderful to see you too," Phil replied, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. "I wanted to come by and thank you in person." They spent the afternoon catching up, sharing stories about their lives and aspirations. Phil admired Arya's dedication to her work and her ability to maintain a positive outlook despite recent challenges. Arya, in turn, was impressed by Phil's resilience and leadership, qualities that went beyond his role as a CEO. As the sun began to set, Arya invited Phil to join her for dinner at a nearby restaurant. "I'd love to continue our conversation," she said, her voice hopeful. Phil agreed, eager to spend more time with her. The restaurant was cozy, with soft lighting and an inviting ambiance. Over dinner, their connection deepened, moving beyond casual conversation to more personal revelations. Phil found himself opening up about his struggles with work-life balance, while Arya shared her dreams and the obstacles she faced running her store. Despite the growing bond, Phil sensed a hesitation in Arya's demeanor. When he mustered the courage to express his feelings, Arya gently pulled back. "Phil, I really enjoy our time together, but I'm not sure if I'm ready for anything serious right now. I have a lot on my plate." Phil felt a pang of disappointment, but respected her honesty. "I understand, Arya. Take all the time you need. I'm here whenever you're ready." Their evening ended on a hopeful note, with both of them contemplating the possibilities that lay ahead. Phil left the restaurant with a renewed sense of purpose, determined to support Arya and explore the potential of their budding relationship. The days that followed were filled with anticipation and subtle exchanges between Phil and Arya. Their interactions became a highlight in Phil's life, providing a refreshing contrast to his high-stress corporate environment. Arya's genuine nature and unwavering support made Phil feel more grounded and connected than he had in years. Phil's visits to Arya's store became more frequent, each trip strengthening their bond. They collaborated on small projects, combining Phil's business acumen with Arya's creative flair to enhance the store's offerings. Their professional synergy seamlessly translated into a personal connection, with laughter and meaningful conversations becoming a regular part of their interactions. One afternoon, as they worked together to redesign the store's layout, Arya confided in Phil about the financial struggles her business was facing. "I've been managing, but the competition is tough, and I'm worried about the future," she admitted, her voice tinged with concern. Phil listened intently, feeling a surge of protectiveness. "Arya, your store is incredible. Have you considered expanding your online presence or exploring new markets? Maybe I can help you strategize some solutions." Arya looked at him, gratitude evident in her eyes. "That would be amazing, Phil. I could really use your expertise." Their collaboration brought them closer, fostering a sense of partnership and mutual respect. As they brainstormed ideas late into the evening, Phil realized how much he valued Arya's presence in his life. Her passion and determination were contagious, inspiring him to think outside the box and approach challenges with renewed vigor. One evening, after a particularly productive day, Arya suggested they take a break and enjoy the local scenery. They drove to a nearby lookout point, where the panoramic view of the city stretched before them. The setting sun bathed the landscape in warm hues, creating a serene and romantic atmosphere. "Phil, I'm really glad you decided to help me," Arya said, her voice soft. "It means a lot to have someone who believes in me." Phil reached out, taking her hand in his. "Arya, I believe in you because you have something special. Your dedication and creativity are inspiring." Their eyes met, and for a moment, the world around them seemed to fade away. The connection they shared was undeniable, yet both were cautious, aware of the delicate balance between friendship and something more profound. As they sat together, watching the sunset, the foundation for their relationship was firmly set. Phil knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, he was ready to face them with Arya by his side. Despite the deepening relationship with Arya, Phil couldn't shake the feeling that something was incomplete about his time in Las Vegas. The city's vibrant energy had initially offered him an escape, but now it seemed to hold the key to his true feelings. Determined to explore this further, Phil decided to return to Las Vegas, hoping to uncover the lingering questions about his accident and his connection with Arya. The drive back was filled with a mix of anticipation and reflection. Phil pondered the events that had transpired since his accident and the unexpected romance that had blossomed. As he approached Las Vegas, the familiar sights brought back memories of his initial visit, but this time with a new perspective. Phil made his way to Arya's store, eager to see her again. Upon arrival, he noticed subtle changes, new displays, enhanced lighting, and a fresh energy that signaled growth. Arya greeted him warmly, her smile brighter than before. "Welcome back, Phil. It's great to see you again." "Las Vegas has a way of bringing people together," Phil replied, his eyes meeting hers with unspoken emotions. They spent the day working on new projects, their collaboration more seamless than ever. As the evening approached, Arya mentioned she would be leaving for Las Vegas once more to handle some urgent matters at her store. Sensing an opportunity, Phil decided to take a bold step. "Arya, would you mind if I accompanied you to Las Vegas? I'd like to spend more time with you and understand what this city means to both of us," he suggested, his voice sincere. Arya hesitated for a moment before nodding. "I'd like that, Phil. It would be nice to have your company." The following morning, they set off together, driving towards the heart of Las Vegas. The journey was filled with light-hearted conversations and moments of comfortable silence, each mile bringing them closer. As they approached the outskirts of the city, Phil felt a surge of excitement mixed with nervousness. Las Vegas welcomed them with its usual spectacle: bright lights, bustling streets, and an air of endless possibilities. They arrived at Arya's store, a short distance from the main attractions. Arya introduced Phil to her team, and together they worked on finalizing the store's preparations for an upcoming event. As the day turned into night, Arya suggested they take a walk to unwind. They strolled through the lively streets, the sounds of music and laughter creating a vibrant backdrop. Phil felt a sense of completeness, as if he had finally found what he was searching for. Under the neon lights, Phil mustered the courage to express his feelings. "Arya, being here with you has been incredible. I can't imagine my life without you." Arya looked at him, her eyes reflecting the city's lights and her own inner turmoil. "Phil, you've brought so much joy into my life, but I still have doubts about committing to something as serious as marriage." Phil's heart sank slightly, but he remained hopeful. "I understand, Arya. I just want you to know how much you mean to me." Their walk continued, the tension between them palpable yet unspoken. Phil realized that true love often requires patience and understanding, and he was willing to give Arya the time she needed. As they returned to the store, the night air was filled with the promise of what was to come. Phil knew that their journey was far from over, but with each step, their bond grew stronger, paving the way for a future filled with love and shared dreams. The following evening, Arya invited Phil to dinner at her home, a gesture that signaled a significant step in their relationship. Phil accepted eagerly, excited to spend a more personal evening with her. The invitation felt like a milestone, one that hinted at deeper feelings and a mutual desire to explore their connection further. Phil arrived at Arya's residence, a charming house nestled in a quiet neighborhood of Las Vegas. The warm glow of the porch lights and the welcoming atmosphere immediately put him at ease. Arya greeted him at the door, her smile radiant and her demeanor relaxed. "Welcome, Phil. I'm so glad you could make it," she said, leading him inside. The interior was tastefully decorated, reflecting Arya's artistic flair and attention to detail. The dining area was set beautifully, with candles casting a soft light and a delicious aroma wafting from the kitchen. They sat down to enjoy a homemade meal, the conversation flowing effortlessly as they shared stories and laughter. As they dined, Arya introduced Phil to her parents, who had come to meet him. Their warm reception was a relief to Phil, who wanted nothing more than to be accepted into Arya's life. Arya's parents were kind and welcoming, immediately taking a liking to him. Their approval added a new layer of comfort and reassurance to Phil's feelings. After dinner, they moved to the living room, where soft music played in the background. Phil and Arya found themselves sitting closer, the atmosphere charged with unspoken emotions. Phil took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. "Arya, tonight has been wonderful. I've been wanting to talk to you about something important," Phil began, his voice earnest. Arya looked into his eyes, sensing the gravity of his words. "What is it, Phil?" "I've never felt this way before, but I can't ignore the connection we share. I want to spend the rest of my life with you," Phil confessed, his heart pounding. Arya was silent for a moment, her expression thoughtful. "Phil, you mean so much to me, and I cherish everything we've built together, but marriage is a huge commitment, and I need to be sure I'm ready for that step." Phil felt a pang of disappointment, but remained composed. "I understand, Arya. Take all the time you need. I'm here for you, no matter what." Their conversation ended on a hopeful note, with both of them acknowledging their feelings while respecting each other's pace. Phil left Arya's home that night with a mixture of hope and uncertainty, knowing that their journey was still unfolding. In the days that followed, Phil continued to support Arya's store, helping her navigate the challenges and celebrating the successes. Their partnership thrived, both professionally and personally, as they worked side by side to achieve their shared goals. The foundation they had built was strong, but the path to their ultimate destination still required patience and understanding. As Phil reflected on the evening, he realized that true love wasn't just about grand gestures or immediate commitments. It was about the steady support, the mutual respect, and the willingness to grow together. With Arya by his side, he felt ready to face whatever the future held, confident that their bond would only grow stronger with time. Life seemed to be falling into place for Phil and Arya. Their professional collaboration was thriving, and their personal relationship was blossoming. However, beneath the surface of their success, a shadow loomed that threatened to disrupt their newfound harmony. One afternoon, while reviewing the financials for Arya's store, Phil stumbled upon a significant detail: a substantial loan that Arya had taken out to keep the business afloat. The amount was larger than Phil had anticipated, and it became clear that Arya was under immense financial strain. Concern etched on his face, Phil decided to confront Arya about the discovery. He found her in the back office, diligently managing the store's operations. "Arya, we need to talk about something important," he began gently. Arya looked up, sensing the seriousness in his tone. "What is it, Phil?" "I found out about the loan you took out for the store. It's a considerable amount, and I want to help you manage it," Phil said, his voice filled with genuine concern. Arya sighed, running a hand through her hair. "I didn't want to burden you with this, Phil. I've been trying to keep everything together, but it's been tough." Phil stepped closer, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You're not a burden, Arya. We're in this together, both personally and professionally. Let me help you find a way to handle this debt." Touched by his offer, Arya looked into his eyes, seeing the sincerity and determination there. "Are you sure, Phil?" "This is a lot to take on." "I'm sure," Phil replied firmly. "We'll find a solution, no matter what it takes. Your store is special, and I believe in your vision. Let's tackle this together." Over the next few weeks, Phil and Arya worked tirelessly to restructure the store's finances. Phil used his expertise to negotiate better terms with creditors, while Arya focused on increasing sales and expanding their customer base. Their combined efforts began to show positive results, reducing the pressure of the loan and stabilizing the business. Despite the progress, the weight of the debt remained a constant reminder of the challenges they faced. Arya often felt overwhelmed, but Phil's unwavering support kept her motivated. He reassured her that they were a team, capable of overcoming any obstacle together. One evening, as they reviewed the latest financial reports, Phil shared his thoughts. "Arya, I want to do more. I can't stand seeing you struggle like this. Let me take on the entire loan. It's the least I can do for everything you've done for me." Arya was taken aback by his generosity. "Phil, that's too much. I can't accept such a huge sacrifice." Phil insisted, his determination clear. "I want to. You deserve to focus on what you love without the constant worry of debt. Let me help you in any way I can." Reluctantly, Arya agreed, realizing that Phil's offer was a testament to his deep feelings for her. With Phil covering the loan, the financial burden was lifted, allowing Arya to breathe easier and concentrate fully on growing her business. Their shared victory over the debt strengthened their bond, solidifying their partnership both in love and business. Phil and Arya realized that together, they could overcome any challenge, their relationship becoming a beacon of hope and resilience. With the financial challenges behind them, Phil and Arya's relationship entered a new phase of trust and commitment. Their professional success translated into personal happiness, and they found joy in the everyday moments they shared. However, as their bond deepened, it was time to integrate their lives more fully, particularly by introducing each other to their families. One sunny afternoon, Arya invited Phil to meet her parents. Nervous yet excited, Phil prepared himself for the meeting, understanding how important it was for Arya. He wanted to make a good impression, not just for himself, but for their future together. They arrived at Arya's parents' home, a cozy house surrounded by a beautiful garden. Arya's parents welcomed them warmly, their genuine smiles easing Phil's anxiety. Dinner was a delightful affair, filled with laughter, stories, and heartfelt conversations. Arya's parents admired Phil's dedication and kindness, and Phil found himself connecting with them on a personal level. As the evening progressed, Arya's mother raised a toast. To Phil, who has not only supported our daughter, but has also become a part of our family. We're grateful to have you in our lives. Phil felt a surge of gratitude and happiness, knowing that he had earned their trust and acceptance. The evening ended on a high note, leaving Phil and Arya with a sense of fulfillment and hope for the future. Encouraged by the positive reception, Phil decided it was time to take another significant step. He wanted to express his commitment to Arya in a meaningful way. One evening, as they walked through a scenic park, Phil stopped and turned to her. "Arya, meeting your family has been wonderful. They mean so much to you, and now they mean a lot to me too. I want to continue building our lives together, not just as partners in business, but as partners in life." Arya smiled, her eyes reflecting the sincerity of his words. "Phil, I feel the same way. You've brought so much joy and stability into my life. I'm ready to take this journey with you." Their decision to deepen their commitment marked a pivotal moment in their relationship. With the support of their families and the strength of their bond, Phil and Arya felt more prepared than ever to face the future together. As they walked hand in hand through the park, the city lights twinkled around them, symbolizing the endless possibilities that awaited. Their love story was evolving, grounded in mutual respect, unwavering support, and a shared vision for a brighter tomorrow. Months passed, and Phil and Arya's relationship continued to flourish. Their love story, born out of an unexpected accident, had blossomed into a partnership built on trust, respect, and unwavering support. With the financial burdens lifted and their family's blessings, they felt ready to take the next big step: marriage. Phil planned an intimate proposal, wanting it to be as special and unique as their journey together. He chose a secluded spot overlooking the Las Vegas skyline, a place that held so many memories of their time together. As the sun set, casting a golden hue over the city, Phil led Arya to the chosen location. "Arya," Phil began, his voice filled with emotion, "from the moment I met you, my life changed in ways I never imagined. You've brought light into my world, and I can't imagine my future without you. Will you marry me?" Arya's eyes welled up with tears of joy as she looked at Phil, her heart swelling with love. "Yes, Phil. Yes, I will." Their engagement marked the culmination of their love story, a testament to their resilience and the power of fate bringing them together. The wedding was a beautiful celebration, attended by their families and close friends who had witnessed their journey from the beginning. As Phil and Arya exchanged vows, promising to support and cherish each other through all of life's challenges, they knew they were embarking on a new chapter filled with love and shared dreams. Their union was not just a merging of two lives, but the beginning of a lifelong partnership grounded in mutual respect and unwavering devotion. The reception was a joyous occasion, filled with laughter, dancing, and heartfelt toasts. Phil's friends from the corporate world mingled seamlessly with Arya's community, bridging the gap between their diverse backgrounds and celebrating their union. The night was a perfect blend of glamour and heartfelt emotion, reflecting the essence of their relationship. As the evening drew to a close, Phil and Arya shared a quiet moment under the starlit sky. They reflected on their journey, from the accident that brought them together to the love that had sustained them through every challenge. Hand in hand, they looked forward to a future filled with endless possibilities, knowing that together they could conquer anything.